The De La Salle Green Archers cruising past the Adamson Soaring Falcons, 64-57. It's just in for their 5th straight win. Now let's go all out on Ateneo's big bounce-back win today, ending its 3-game slide. Joining us live via Zoom, our team captain, Chris Koon, and assistant coach, Sandy Arespacochaga. Welcome back to the show, Chris. Good evening.
Hey, Sir Felix. How are you doing? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, man. I'm not supposed to say this on air to avoid biases, but you know you're my favorite player, one of my favorite players in Ateneo. And how about my favorite assistant coach, Sandy Arespacochaga? Good evening, coach. Thank you for obliging me today.
Good evening, Andre. Good evening, everybody.
Congratulations to Ateneo. Coach, I'll start with Chris. I know it's been a tough season, up and down, up and down. Let's talk about this game earlier. Finally ending that 3-game losing skid, as I said when I was reading the news. How gratifying, how satisfying was that win earlier today?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's nice to finally get our first win in the second round. It was tough losing those 3 games. A lot of our games have been close, but similar to what Coach Tab said, we want to focus on the next game. So this game was the most important game of our season, and I know it was an ugly win. It got down to the wire a little bit, but, a win is a win, and that's all we can ask for right now.
Mm-hmm. Coach, having that 3-game losing skid heading into today's game, I'm sure there was a lot of talk. You've been trying to get the boys still in the game, focused, laser focused and everything. But how was it, how challenging maybe, to keep these guys motivated and, just to have them focus on the task at hand and not think about, those last 3 games?
I think the players showed a lot of focus in practice. Of course, it starts in practice, and we have to commend the players for, not minding the outside noise and just focusing on the task at hand. Because we didn't want to dwell on the past 3 games. We wanted to focus on the task at hand, which was UST earlier. So we have to commend the players for doing exactly that. And then next, for us, is Adamson. So, we have to focus on that too.
It has been a roller coaster ride for Ateneo here in season 86. I just want to point out, Philadelphia 76ers big man, of course, reigning MVP in the NBA, Joel Embiid, often talks about the process, trusting the process. Chris, how has the process been like so far? Coming from your perspective, a veteran, a captain, one of the guys who've been there, who've won at this level.
Yeah, this is my 3rd season, so seeing the difference in teams. We knew it was going to be different this season. But, not everyone sees what us, the coaches, see. Like Coach said, in practice, there's a lot of progress that's being made in practice. I feel like a lot of that doesn't get the recognition. We have a lot of guys that, guys that aren't even playing that help us so much in practice. And, a guy like Rafi Sellis played. And he goes in there, gets 9 offensive rebounds.
Yeah,
that's huge for us. And to be honest, we're happy for him, but we're actually not surprised. We know what he's capable of, and we know what all of our guys are capable of. So, just seeing the progress that we've made, although it's been an up and down season, we want to focus on the next game. I know it's kind of a reoccurring theme, but we kind of just want to focus, stay positive, and just focus on this next game against Adamson.
Yeah, you did mention Sellis, Rap Sellis, for reference. Coming off the bench in almost 17 minutes, he was 2 of 6 from the field at 8 points. He was plus 11, 8 and 11 boards, 3 assists today. He was really huge. Coach, Coach Sands, I don't want to use the term problem, because it's seldom that we use that word to associate with Ateneo. But if we're going to look back at the success the past years or so, the past even decade, Ateneo has always been a winning program. But what do you think is the biggest difference? Or if you want to use the word problem, or something that's probably lacking for Ateneo this year, that's why you've had your struggles in season 86?
I think we have a lot of young guys, but you know, I think right now, the problems that we have would be, I think that question should be answered later on, maybe after the season, because right now, what's first and foremost in our minds is Adamson, the next game. We can analyze and think about that, but right now for our team, um, we we have to prioritize Adamson because they're a strong team and we cannot think about woe is me, what is our problem, we have a task at hand and we have to stay focused on that.
This question is for both Chris and Coach Sandy. Ateneo has won 4 of the last 5 titles, and I've mentioned over and over the success this program has. Did you guys feel that? I'm sure that pressure was on, especially before this season. And you touched up on it. Nabanggit mo, Coach Sandy. A lot of young guys this season. Of course, you not having Ange Kwame back, right? Losing Ange Kwame, who's a former MVP in the league, is huge. But a lot of major changes that this team has. Do you feel more pressure now or before this this season started, Chris?
I'm not really sure. I feel like, like you said, we always try to say, there's no pressure, but of course there's always going to be that, external pressure. But I feel like the coaches have helped us a lot. Student managers helped us a lot, just keeping our heads right, and trying to block out that pressure. Because, when we play the game and you get into the flow of the game, there's really no pressure. You kind of just have to stick to what you've done your preparation. So, pressure, I definitely think is something that it's hard to avoid when you're outside of the court. But when we're in practice, when we're in the games, it's pretty easy to, not really think about those things.
Well, Coach, save your answer for later. I also will be asking this. I know, Coach Sandy, you mentioned focus is Adamson. That is the next game. But which is the tougher team for Ateneo to face in season 86? Of course, the fans want to know. Is it UP or is it LaSalle or is it NU? Well, team captain Chris Koon and assistant coach Sandy Arespacochaga will stay with us after a really quick timeout. And we'll be back after this really quick break. Stay tuned to Sports Desk, only on CNN Philippines, where we go all out for the day's top sports stories. We'll be right back. Going back to one of our top stories today, the Ateneo Blue Eagles ending a 3-game losing skid in UAAP season 86. Still with us tonight, going all out on this story, are team captain Chris Koon and assistant coach Sandy Arespacochaga. Coach Sands, you weren't able to answer before the break, so I will ask you this. You've seen the highs, the lows. You've been with Ateneo for how many decades now, Coach Sandy? My question to you is, was there more pressure before the season started where Coach Tab was kind of tempering expectations, or now that you're on the outside looking in the Final Four and you hear UP officially making it already and you making it already, saan mas may pressure? Was it before the season started or now there's pressure na, guys, we got to make it to the Final Four?
I think there's pressure in both situations, except the pressure now, I guess, is more immediate. But, we're not shying away from the pressure. We understand our situation and, we want to face pressure head on. And, we want to deal with it collectively as a team. I think that's been one of the things that we've been stressing. So, we have a lot of things to work on, a lot of things to improve on, especially going up against our next opponent, Adamson.
You guys are on the outside looking in the Final Four now. Of course, UP and you officially in. It's Adamson versus LaSalle as we speak. LaSalle prevailing 64-57. And 3 games left in the second round. Now, Coach Sandy, I won't put you on the pressure cooker and ask you, can Ateneo still make that final push? Because I know, I know how Ateneo is, and you guys at the helm, you, Coach Tab, and the boys with Chris, Sean, and the players you have. But my question is, how confident are you? I'll rephrase it that way. What is your confidence level that this team can make it back to the Final Four despite the struggles this season?
I think we have a positive mindset, and it's hard to call it confidence because I think it's more of that, a positive mindset heading to the next few games. We know we're in a tough situation, but we also know that as long as we come together and we work hard and we focus and implement the game plan, we have a good chance. But we cannot look far ahead because our next opponent, Adamson, is going to be a tough one, and it's going to be a crucial match for both teams too.
Thank you, Coach, for that. Now, coming from a player's perspective, I'll ask Chris, one of the veterans, one of the leaders here, the confidence level of you amongst yourselves, the players, the boys, when you guys are, alone. How high, or probably where is that confidence level at? That we can still make it to the Final Four, despite what the critics are saying, and despite the struggles this season, Chris.
Yeah, I think we're confident in terms of our abilities and what we can do. But like what Coach said, we're not overconfident,
Yeah.
especially with the things that have happened. But I feel like having that positive mindset, preparing well. This next game with Adamson is going to be huge, not just because it's our next game, but also, we're going to be tied. We're fighting for that fourth spot. So, with that pressure, we're going to try to embrace that. And I feel like if we're not confident in what we can do, then, it's not going to be a good game for us. But we're also not going to be overconfident where, we think we just got it in the bag, because it's definitely not that. So I think as players, with each other, we try to instill confidence in one another, but not too confident. Like what Coach Sandy said, just having that positive mindset that we can achieve the goals that we're trying to achieve, and just stay positive and don't look too far ahead.
I like that. Well, Coach, so far, I know you're a lot of guys showing, like if you're going to grade players, A for effort, but so far, who are you most impressed with this season?
Sorry, Andre, didn't catch that. Who am I impressed with our players?
Yeah, like
Is it our players?
so far. Yeah, from all your players so far this season. Like, I know,
Yeah.
I know it's tough asking you because Chris is there, right, with you in the Zoom. But among all the players so far, like you were really impressed with this season.
Well, that's an easy answer. That's an easy question to answer because Chris is here. So Chris has really impressed me a lot. So I'll stick with Chris.
Coach, give another answer.
Okay, I'll go to Koon now on this one. Chris, how about you? From a player standpoint, I won't ask you who impressed you the most among the coaching staff, but who impressed you most among your teammates, like especially the young guys, the new guys coming in?
Yeah, I mean, for coaches, I picked Coach Sandy, but if I had to go players, I'd probably say, all the young guys. But I'm really happy with Joe. I mean, he's dealt with so much, coming off of, Ange. So, he's, one of the greatest players, in UAP, people say. So I feel like there was a lot of pressure on Joe, but I think he's handling it very well. He's played well for us. He's had great games for us, and he does the dirty work. And, if you really talk to him, he's such a smart guy. He's a good guy. So I'm just really happy that, this is his 1 year, but I know he's doing his best to make the most of it. So I'm happy for Joe.
Yeah, it's really tough, If you're following the footsteps or trying to fill in for the shoes that won the MVP, won championships, it's really tough. So let's give Joe a break there. Let's take a look at your numbers so far, Koon. Chris, you're averaging 11 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists this season. I'm going to ask you this. Be real with me on this one. How satisfied are you? What grade would you give yourself if you were to grade yourself so far for this season?
This sounds cliche, but I really, we're 5-6, so that's what I'm looking at. The win and loss record. So to be honest, the stats don't really matter. I hope I can do more to help the team win. So right now, I'm hoping I can do everything I can to get us, this next win and then the next one after that. So that's kind of my goal right now. Not really looking at the stats, just hoping to, play the best game that I can individually in order to help the team.
I will take another timeout, really quick one, but this time, Coach, siguro full timeout. Stay with me again. Our all-out conversation with Chris Koon and Assistant Coach Sandy Arespacochaga of the Ateneo Blue Eagles will continue after this quick break. You're watching Sports Desk only on CNN Philippines. We'll be right back. And we're back. Thank you for joining us. And today, our guests, Ateneo Team Captain Chris Koon and Assistant Coach Sandy Arespacochaga of the defending champions in UAP men's basketball, the Ateneo Blue Eagles, snapping their 3-game losing skid, beating UST today. Coach, make it really quick. You were able to beat your rivals, UP and LaSalle this season, and you lost to NU twice this season. Who's a tougher matchup for you guys? Is it UP, LaSalle, NU this season?
That's a very good question, and all three teams are really, really tough. And as a member of the coaching staff, though, I would have to say Adamson. We cannot overlook Adamson. Coach Tab might be listening now, so so I have to answer with Adamson. Adamson's a tough team. Coach Nash, the coaching staff, has really done wonders for that team. Imagine playing without Jerome Lastimosa and being in their position right now. So all our focus, all our eyes are on Adamson. So that is my answer.
We'll save it for another day, but is it because of former assistant coach Gabi Severino also there? Really quick, Chris, what do you want to tell the Ateneo community?
Just want to say thank you guys. I know it's been a roller coaster of a season, but appreciate the support. Hope you guys keep the faith. I know we still believe, so we hope you still believe, and we're going to keep this thing going and hope to make you guys proud. Appreciate it.
Coach Gabi pala sa FEU yung secret weapon nila. But thank you. Once again, I get what you're saying, Coach Sandy. Good luck the rest of the way. Good luck against Adamson, and I hope you guys make it to the Final Four. Thank you again, Chris. And thank you, Coach Sandy. Again, that was team captain of the Ateneo Blue Eagles, Chris Koon, and assistant coach Sandy Arespacochaga of the defending champions of UAP men's basketball, the Ateneo Blue Eagles. We've reached today's finish line. Join us again live at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow for today's top sports stories. I'm Andre Palix. Thank you for tuning in to Sports Desk only here on CNN Philippines. The final word with Last Light, Rico Hizon. Up next, stay tuned.